Now let's talk about the law that can shock the new and old landlords alike, source of income protection. The Commission has recovered damages and penalties for about $20,000 in the last year for complainants who have faced source of income discrimination. So across Philadelphia, median listed price was $17.50 and the median rented price that the leases were actually signed for was $16.95. That we still see that slight discount in rental prices across the city. Hi, and welcome back to the Philly Landlord Guy. I'm your host, Yuri Skripnichenko, the guy with impossible last name. Just think of me as the Philly Landlord Guy. I am a licensed real estate broker and certified property manager here in the city of Philadelphia. And today I'm flying solo to bring you two vital pieces of information that can make or break your investment in this city. First, we're taking a deep dive into 19137 zip code, focusing on the Bridesburg neighborhood and breaking down the MLS data that shows how this area stacks up against the rest of the city. And the second topic is a game changer. It's a fair housing law that is often overlooked, specifically source of income protection. We'll cover protected classes in federal, state, and city law and talk about why you must accept applicants who use Section 8 vouchers and how to do it compliantly with the law. Let's dive right into it. So we'll start with deep dive into 19137 zip code. This area is primarily Bridesburg, which is the northernmost neighborhood in River Wards. The area is known for being an incredibly stable working-class community with a strong long-term residential base. Bridesburg has a distinct, stable feel. The median household income is approximately $64,000, which is higher than the citywide median household income of about $60,000. The poverty rate is approximately 12%, which is again below the city-wide median, which we just recently covered in our previous episodes. Our city actually went down in this #1 list of the most poor city in the country. The stability is a huge plus for investors looking for reliable long-term tenancy. The housing stock here is mainly classic Philadelphia row homes. The market here is a strong buy and hold market for investors looking for consistent cash flow. Owner-occupied homes here have a median value of about $212,000. So now let's look into MLA's data for rental listings for October 2025, and the numbers are very telling. So across Philadelphia, median listed price was $17.50, and the median rented price that the leases were actually signed for was $16.95. That we still see that slight discount in rental prices across the city. The average days on the market for the citywide was about 57 days. In 19137 specifically, we had a very small amount of properties that were rented in October, and based on those two rentals, I cannot really say that this is the average rent for the area, but in October, the two rentals were closed at $12.50 with the average days on the market of only 30 days, which is significantly lower than the city as the whole. This is a clear example of a low inventory, stable neighborhood. While the rent numbers are lower than the city average, but again, it's only based on two sample properties that were closed. Properties that are priced correctly move twice as fast as the rest of the city. If your goal is low vacancy and consistent cash flow, this is a very interesting area, but you must be precise with your pricing, as anywhere else in Philadelphia, especially in this market. When we see increase in the days on the market, you definitely want to price right to reduce the days as soon as possible. Before we dive into fair housing discussion, I want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor, Trust Realty. If you're a landlord in the city of Philadelphia, you know that managing rentals can be complicated. This is why Trust Realty is offering to all of our listeners a free rental analysis or management advice session. So if you do not know how to price your rental, reach out to us and we'll help you out. We'll do a rental analysis for you. Whether you need help understanding market trends or improving how you manage your rental, we've got you covered. To claim your free rental analysis or consultation, just send an email to trustartrealty@philalandlordguy.com or go to trustartrealty.com and schedule that call. Now let's talk about the law that can shock the new and old landlords alike, source of income protection. So before we go into it, let's talk about fair housing in general. At its core, fair housing is about the right to choose housing to rent, to buy, or obtain a loan free from unlawful discrimination. Essentially, it ensures that people can live where they want as long as they can afford it. This right is enforced through a tiered system of protected classes. So you have three levels: federal level, Pennsylvania state level, and City of Philadelphia level. The Federal Fair Housing Act establishes 7 protected classes, which are race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, and familial status. Pennsylvania state level adds protection on top of the federal law, and most notably for age, 40 years of or older, and use of a guide or support animal. The City of Philadelphia has its own fair practices ordinance, which extends protection even further, including source of income, sexual orientation, gender identity, and marital status. So the Philadelphia Ordinance makes it illegal to discriminate based on source of a person's income. And yes, that explicitly includes applicants who pay with Housing Choice Voucher, commonly known as Section 8. The reality is that you cannot advertise no Section 8 in your listings for rent. You cannot reject a tenant simply because they have a voucher. If you do, you are violating the city law. The Commission has recovered damages and penalties for about $20,000 in the last year for complaints who have faced source of income discrimination. So be very diligent with how you process your applications and what you accept and what you do not. So how do you protect your investment while complying with the law? You must apply your screening criteria equally to all applicants, regardless of their source of income. You can still require a minimum income, but it must be based only on tenant's portion of the rent. The PHA portion is guaranteed by the housing authority, so you cannot count that portion against their income requirement. You must process the necessary PHA paperwork without delay or creating obstacles to discourage the applicants from applying if they have a PHA voucher. However, you can still reject a voucher holder for poor credit, bad rental history, or criminal background based on your rental criteria, but you cannot have different stricter standards for them than for a non-voucher applicant. For example, advertising that a tenant must have a job, it's against the law. So the bottom line is that the PHA program can actually offer a steady cash flow and mitigate the risk because of the housing authority pays a portion of the rent directly to you. But to access that pool of qualified tenants, you have to be compliant with the fair housing law. All right, that wraps up our today's update. We've covered a lot from the pricing and days on the market in Bridesburg, where correctly priced rentals move fast, to the critical legal requirements of source of income protection. If you have any questions about fair housing screening or managing your rentals in Philadelphia, reach out to TrustArt Realty. Again, the links are below, or go to trustartrealty.com. The only way to win in the city is to be informed and stay compliant with the laws. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. This helps us to bring more information to you. And until next time, keep buying smart, managing tight, and investing with purpose.